Three ships from Spain, I fired on them amain, and most of them I've slain as I sailed, and most of them I've slain as I sailed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Tonight we have a bit more of a variety stream, a bit more of a return to normalcy. We will still be talking about some of the happenings regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination, some of the latest developments that happened this morning. But after that, we will kind of get into a normal variety stream. Lucas Botkin, LMT, the NAGR, which I can't say too quickly. But before we get into that, let me introduce our guests. We have Tucker and Richard Cranium. How's your night going, Tucker?
Duper duper gang.
Good, fantastic. Richard, how's your day been?
Better each minute.
Good, fantastic. Well, Tucker, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit and the reason for being on here tonight, because we have something a little positive that we'd like to shout out for everybody.
I really appreciate it. My name is Sterling Tucker. I am an instructor and match director at Battle Springs Ranch down in southern Oklahoma. I have a cousin that is a former Army combat medic who now has stage 4 cancer that has spread to his liver and his lungs. He is 33 years old, and on October 4th, I am having a benefit match for him. All proceeds will go to him and his family directly. I will not be making any money. Battle Springs Ranch will not be making any money. Everything will go immediately to him. And for this match, I am also providing food, which my brother will be cooking. He is an excellent chef. So we will have tacos. I've got quite a bit of stuff stacked on the prize table so far. We've got a pistol, a lower Geisley trigger, ace, what is it?
What do they do? Trigger Tech Ace triggers?
No, they are, what is it? Ace Virtual Shooting.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is sending out a coupon for a handset of the shooter's liking and a year subscription. I believe that's about $370. Also going to have a suppressor, and I'm still working on some other stuff. But yeah, we will have some pretty cool stuff on the prize table. And I just wanted to come on here to this audience to see if anyone was within reasonable driving distance of southern Oklahoma. Come out, shoot the match. It is going to be a 2-man team match. We will be playing some games with some tourniquets, and we're going to be doing some drags and carrying heavy stuff and shooting. It's going to be a good time. If you cannot make it, and if anyone out there is involved in any gun companies or gun-esque type things and would like to donate to the prize table, reach out to me. I'm Sterling Tucker on Facebook and Instagram. Holler at me. That would be greatly appreciated. If not, thoughts and prayers, always appreciated.
Now, is there a way to support it? Like if it's way too far away for me to make it in October, about 3 weeks away, but is there a way to just support, like if I wanted to buy a ticket and not show up, is that cool?
No, because I do not have registration activated on there, because if we took payments online and they hit the Battle Springs accounts, we would have to pay taxes on them. So it's going to be cash only. So I can just give him a hopefully large amount of cash at the end of the day. The family does have a couple different Venmo accounts open for it. I can send you that here shortly. as
Yeah, if you
well.
want to send me that, I'll post that in the chat as well for people that can't make it or would like to donate outside of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll send you that just here in a minute as soon as you're done with me.
Yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate it, man. You're welcome to stick on the show as long as you want, but you wanted to come on here and shout it out for a really good cause in a very unfortunate situation for your friend and his family and all of that's going through right now. I'm sure that's a terrible time, and if we as a community can come together to help in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy to always shout out good causes and do something positive for the community, as it were.
I really appreciate that. I am going to jump off here to make sure my son is going to sleep, but I will send you that other information as soon as I get off.
Sounds good. I appreciate that very much, sir. Thank you for coming on, Tucker.
Hey, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it, man. You have a good night, sir.
Our
Y'all
prayers
too.
are with you, brother. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, that is Tucker. Go ahead and if you can't make it to that event, which does sound like a good time, thoughts and prayers, and then I will have the Venmo link as soon as Tucker sends it my way. I can post that here for people who want to donate to a good cause. Certainly a better cause than this show, to be clear. So I appreciate coming on, sir. Yeah, Tucker is Chuck Liddell's son. I saw some of you guys. You guys might not have seen it, but during the intro, he was warming up with the hammer curls and stuff like that. So he was just hanging out, having a good time.
Was that a 4x4 post with a concrete block on the end that he was swinging?
It was either that or one of those special hammers that they have made for that. I don't know what they call that exercise, but it's like a shoulder exercise. Link for his Instagram. Yeah, let me pull it up. Should just be Sterling Tucker. Tucker Sterling. Let me see if I can steal it from him. I don't know if he follows me. I'm gonna email because he's about to email me the link. Could you also send me your Instagram? Yeah, and if you guys want to reach out to him, to his family during this time, feel free to do so, and I'll try and get all the links for everybody. Okay. Yeah, Richard, why did you make the stream late? That's the question that we all need to know. Now, in a totally separate vein, I also have a match coming up. However, it is not a charity match. So it's really not even me, but because I don't get anything from it at all. I don't take any $0 from anything like this. But a buddy of mine, Kian, he's a local shooter. We're setting up a PCSL 2-gun match, local, and it's going to be here in Canton, South Dakota, which is right next to Sioux Falls, basically. $20 is the price, and again, none of that goes to me whatsoever. That goes to Kian and the ranges for all that sort of stuff. So I thought that I would also throw that out here for anybody in the area that wants to do a 2-gun match. I'm happy to host you, hang out, and shoot for the day, All right, here we go. Thank you. Okay, Shooter Tucker, that's the one. All right, let me post that in the chat. Here is his Instagram handle as well, if anybody wants to reach out to his Instagram. And that should be all of that. All right. And again, that's a 2-gun match local to me. I'll be there. Keen will be there. A bunch of us will be there if you want to come hang out and literally shoot some guns. Hopefully not at us, though, right? But getting into the news, first order of business is that the murderer, the assassin, has been caught. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old, accused of shooting Charlie Kirk, assassinating Charlie Kirk. Now, there is some weird stuff going on here, and I don't want to deny that. All conspiracy theories are valid until proven otherwise, in my opinion. There's Valhalla VFT had a video today going over some of the inconsistencies in the FBI's reporting. You have many other things that seem to be out of whack or alignment. So the official story, as we have it, is sort of building a consensus, although I'm not sure how much of it we can actually believe, but we'll go ahead and go through this now.
Who was Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old Southwest Utah resident suspected of killing Charlie Kirk? Officials said bullets found with the alleged rifle used had messages written on them.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O."
So, Richard, I've heard multiple theories on the notices bulges. That's either a trans joke or a furry joke of some way.
I think it's a trans joke.
So that's the way I understood it, but it's a disgusting joke either way, I suppose. This JP says it's a furry thing, and I've heard other people say no, it's a trans thing. It's a furry joke as old as time. It's a furry joke. It's a furry joke. How do you guys know it's a furry joke? What am I missing here? Did you guys all go to the furry convention to figure out that this is a furry joke? It's both. It's an old 4chan furry joke. Okay. Furry, but much overlap. Okay. I don't know. The chat is very adamant that this is a furry thing. Mostly furry. Okay, I'll take your guys' word for it. It's furry. It's furry. Tactical. I am a furry. Okay, well, ban that man. Ban that man with hammers right now, please.
OWO, what's this question mark? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point."
Hey fascist, catch, which is the Helldivers Eagle 500 kilogram bomb. I think that's the call in there, which is, yeah, hey fascist, how dare you speak? I'm gonna kill you now. Here's the inscription. I'm gonna murder this fascist in front of his family. Wow. Wow. Yeah, definitely an internet loser. Yep.
Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this,
you are gay, LMAO." Ah, so funny. Now, the "Oh Bella Chow" thing, I believe, from what I heard, was a Spanish song from the Spanish Civil War. Is that? And it's like an anti-fascist song.
Was it Spanish or was it Italian?
Was it Italian? Either way, it was like I believe it was some sort of like had a anti-fascist undertone to it or something like that. So
yeah,
again, we got weird trans furry, hey fascist, anti-fascist song, and then just normal terminal online behavior. If you read this, you are gay. LMAO. That's so funny. I wonder if you'll be laughing. Hopefully at the firing squad. I'm hoping for firing squad publicly. I think that's poetic. Yeah, Italian anti-fascism song. Okay. They sang it when they hung Mussolini. Yeah, really gay song. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I don't think he deserves a firing squad.
Well, I think you're going to get that or lethal injection, and I would prefer a firing squad out of the two.
You are gay, LMAO.
Those messages appear to be part anti-fascist, part internet meme culture.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University.
A video from Facebook shows Robinson receiving a scholarship to Utah State University. The Daily Mail reports he was a student at that school for 1 semester in 2021. He had no political party affiliation according to voter registration records and didn't vote in the last 2 elections. Officials said a family member said he became more political in recent years.
In that conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Photos.
So people trying to pin this guy as a groiper, which is, of course, the Nick Fuentes reference, just seems completely at odds with all available evidence. There's no way that a groiper is complaining about Charlie Kirk for being hateful.
No way.
They would complain about Charlie Kirk for being a stooge or a mouthpiece for certain entities in the Middle East, but they would certainly never complain about him for being hateful. And I actually watched a few minutes of Nick's address yesterday. He had 176,000 people watching him at one point, and it was actually extremely respectful and extremely well worded. I don't know if I can play it on YouTube because he's kind of a persona non grata over here, but he actually had a very, very positive, uplifting message and a call against violence to all of his audience. Which, again, very powerful, 176,000 people. And as a few people pointed out, you killed the guy that wanted to talk, and so you killed the moderate option. So now you get Nick, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not, right? Yeah. And again, as far as Nick goes, personally, I have never followed him or been a groyper. I know that all of the media is basically spews lies about everyone, so I wouldn't believe what the media says about him. But he's a young man, a little bit younger than I am, and he is definitely a figurehead, and he is going to be catapulted, as several other people are as well, in the wake of Charlie's death, because there is going to be a influence vacuum and a lot of people looking for solutions and answers and leaders, and Nick is already primed to be one of those people.
I look for Charlie's wife to step up and fill a large vacuum there. I do
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, Charlie's wife should not. I mean,
no, I don't think she should.
But she's a mother to young children. I do not.
I don't think she should, but I feel like she will.
It's possible. I saw that she had an address as well just before we went live. I haven't had time to watch any of that. We might check out a few minutes of that. Just pay respects for the family and to Charlie.
The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Photos.
Stop simping for the peaceful option. Those days are gone. I agree that might be a political reality in 2025. However, good sir, this is YouTube.
From his mother's now deleted Facebook show a family apparently enjoying time together. There's also an apparent Halloween photo from 2017 with Robinson in a Donald Trump costume.
Now, is that a Donald Trump costume, or is that like mocking Donald Trump?
That's mocking Trump.
That's what because it's like Donald Trump is a short man riding his shoulders. I mean, that's
he's riding him like a horse. Now it is kind of a funny costume, but it's not
Coyote. I saw your thing as well that the Bubba Mauser was stuck on safe. I don't know enough about old-timey, outdated rifles like AKs and Mausers to understand how they operate, but I will take your word for it. Yeah, mocking. But again, they try and frame it like, I don't know, he might have been a MAGA conservative. Like you guys saw that, you probably saw that altered photo floating around where they put him in a Trump shirt when that was just simply not the case, but some retard. I forget who did it, but it was one of those big lefty accounts, and they just photoshopped him into a Trump shirt and posted it as if that was true.
And then everybody ran with it because they're
retarded. If there's mods here and there's a furry here, you can ban him with hammers. Like that is totally allowed. That's your job. Come on.
No motive has been identified. Robinson was in his third year of an electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College in southwest Utah, according to the state's school officials. Utah's governor said charging documents, which could have more information on the suspect, should come early next week. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Thank you for watching.
That man is totally not a robot. The way that he speaks. Give that man a broadcasting position right now, please, and thank you.
Man, I think I should fill out an application. I'm more fluent than he is.
Yeah, you're less monotone than that man. Damn. Suspect's high school friends say Robinson was the only leftist in a family of very hard, awkward phrasing, very hard Republicans. Now, it's also important to note that the shooter's family has basically been confirmed to be Mormons. as well. Now, Mormons tend to lean conservative in a lot of ways, but they have been softening on certain political issues or social issues like abortion. I believe the current Mormon position is safe, legal, and rare, which is a more progressive step than it has been in the past. And I believe they are accepting of gays and transgenders as well in modern day. Now, any Mormon in the chat is welcome to correct me if I'm wrong about that, but the Mormons have been slowly moving to the left a little bit as far as social and political issues go. So just because his family is Mormon doesn't mean that they're ultra conservative like you might think, or like the media might lead you to believe. In a phone interview on Friday, one of Tyler Robinson's high school friends, who asked to remain anonymous, said that the suspect was pretty left on everything. I would imagine so. And was the only member of his family that was really leftist. I know very similar family dynamics to this, where most of the family is very conservative, and then you have one person who, through the school indoctrination system, just goes far radical left. And I am very aware of how these people think and act, and it can lead them to say and do very wacky things. So this sort of dynamic is unfortunately not uncommon, and it's, I would say, rooted in professors and the ideologies in these schools. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, the friend said. Around sophomore year, the friend said that Robinson became more extreme in his political views and would always just be ranting and arguing about them. Many such cases. The friend said that they played video games together a lot in high school and noted that the bullet engraving, which the arrows was referenced to Helldivers 2, which we mentioned earlier. He said that the arrows, blah, 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 yeah, the 500 kilogram bomb. When the friend saw the news on Friday, he said that he was shocked. I knew that he had strong political views, but I never thought it would even go near that far. Now, again, all this is presupposing that this Robinson guy actually did commit the shooting, and that is kind of the current story going on right now.
Capital OWO, what's this question mark? Inscriptions on the
Okay, so here's here's what I was looking for. So the U.S. suspect in Charlie Kirk shooting assassination has been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah resident. He was taken into custody after reportedly being turned in by his father, a veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department. Utah Governor Spencer Cox stated that a family member of Robinson contacted a family friend who alerted the Washington County Sheriff's Office that Robinson had confessed or implied involvement. This information was relayed to senior investigators and the FBI. Authorities are treating the case as a political assassination, and Robinson may face the death penalty if convicted. And yes, in fact, the Governor Cox, said that Utah still has the death penalty, so they will be looking into that. And I think that would, outside of being the just response to a political assassination, I think that would also be cathartic for the country as a whole. I think there is something about having justice dispensed in equal measure in opposition to evil that will actually bring some healing and actual closure to the situation. Now, this is also the photoshopped image that people took this image, which I believe is in his college dorm, and then photoshopped a MAGA shirt on it to try and paint him as some sort of right-wing conservative groyper type, if you will. But of course, all of that is just nonsense. Okay, well, somebody mentioned it earlier in chat, but yeah, Vintage Warfare, friend of the channel, Austin, been going through a bit of a rough time here with the events of the last couple weeks and everything that's been going on, and I don't blame him, but he's been going pretty hard in the paint on X. So this is Keith Olbermann, who might be the most deranged individual on the planet. It's possible. I assume Kash Patel means Valhalla, New York, because otherwise, I hate to break it to him, but neither he, nor Kirk, nor Trump are getting into heaven. All right, Mr. Olbermann. And now what's also funny is, of course, Kash Patel saying to my friend Charlie Kirk, "Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you at Valhalla." It's a little cringe coming from an Indian guy quoting pagan Norse beliefs to a Protestant Christian. Just, it's like a swing and a miss on all three vectors. It's just, you ain't that guy, Charlie's not that guy, and that's not even his religion. I get what you mean. Maybe you're just trying to sound cool or something, but yeah, nobody actually believes that whatsoever. So, swing and a miss, Mr. Valhalla or Mr. Patel. Not going to happen. And Vintage Warfare jumps in here saying, is your goal to get people angry enough to throw you into the ocean with bricks around your ankles, or are you demons actually this retarded and arrogant? In response to Kash Patel telling the dead man, Charlie Kirk, assassinated for his political beliefs, for his outspoken Christian beliefs, that actually Charlie Kirk is in hell. Which is a wild, horrible thing to say, and Mr. Olbermann will have to hold account of all the things he says one day. Tragic, Mr. Olbermann. Now, the first person to claim that they didn't do it, which was a little awkward, but the first person to claim that we actually had nothing to do with it was Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu, Israel was not behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We are still waiting on all of the other major foreign powers to tell us that they didn't do it. But so far, only Israel has confessed to not doing the crime. So as far as I'm concerned, Sudan and everyone else, they're still on the list of possible suspects. Not Israel, though, because they told us specifically that they didn't do it. It's just an odd thing to say. Just a little odd. Yeah, they posted ASAP about it. It's like, listen, guys, we didn't do it. Trust us. We had nothing to do with it. Steven Crowder, exclusive. I don't know how Steven gets all of these exclusives. Very true. I don't know how Steven gets all of these exclusives, but Mug Club Undercover obtained Utah County Sheriff's Office internal documents regarding suspect Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson. Now, unfortunately, he uploaded them in very high detail, so we can take a look at them. All right. So he's 5'10", allegedly male, and 150 pounds. That's a tacted twink right there. Those are numbers Lucas Botkin would be proud of. Year of birth, damn, I'm getting way too old. 2003 is a 22-year-old. People from 2003 are graduating college, bro.
Don't remind me. I have another birthday coming up.
As far as his arrest goes, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, capital first-degree felony conduct. Sorry. None of this other stuff matters. Aggravated murder. Whatever you can do to throw the book at him to make sure that justice is dispensed quickly and fairly, I would recommend doing.
Why
we
was he
could
not
pull
charged
up
with terrorism?
It's preliminary. Everything else. Well, so we're still looking for motive. We're still waiting for more things to come out because, as we're going to get into, if the official story is to be believed, he didn't work on his own. He had a whole network of Antifa-related Discord servers that he was in communication with, people helping him store the weapon, get away, get in, get out, all that sort of fun stuff that possibly knew about the attack beforehand. So I am sure that there might be a lot of charges coming for a lot of people, and I hope that if there are more conspirators, that they get charged with the exact same crimes. And if we have a public firing squad for 10 to 20 people, I think that that would be, again, cathartic for the nation. I believe the feds can charge him, but if Utah is going to seek the death penalty, I don't see the purpose. Unless the feds want to also seek the death penalty and try and get it done faster. Who knows? All right. Probable cause statement. So this is the important part. On September 10th, 2025, Charles James Kirk was at the Utah Valley University. campus in Orem, Utah for a political event, and this is going over his death at 12:23. And I believe, let me see here. Suspect, based on surveillance camera footage, suspect appears to be a white male with dark-colored hair, wearing dark-colored hat, sunglasses, long-sleeve back shirt. Basically going over all of the info that we currently have. Using right hand, suspect eventually put what appeared to be a cell phone back in his right pants pocket. Using his right hand, surveillance captured suspect making his way toward the Lasse Center at approximately 12:02, so 15 minutes before. 12:22, suspect stood up and started running across the rooftop after taking his shot. That goes over to the Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle, which allegedly was locked in the safe position due to the way that the scope was mounted, though again, I am not a mechanical expert of outdated firearms. All right, so this shoe impression was located consistent with the shoe sole characteristics of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at UVU. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:30 in the morning, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, black hat, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in a conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. The family member also stated that Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. Doesn't sound very right-wing to me. The family member also confirmed that Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as a roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed a roommate who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of the messages between the phone contacts named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point. So this implies that he's working together with other people on these Discord servers. Leaving the rifle in a bush. Messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left. So having somebody actually there watching it to make sure that it's still there, to make sure that, I guess it's ready to go. And a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving the bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique, because I don't believe the rifle was his, it was somebody else's. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. Based on the evidence detailed in this statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes of aggravated murder by shooting Charlie Kirk in a circumstance that put many around him at grave risk of death, felony discharge of a firearm, and so this is basically probable cause. This is exactly what that is, just telling you why did we kill him, or why did we arrest him? Why do we think we have the right to arrest him? It's tragic. Richard, could you, while I'm reading this stuff out, could you actually go grab for me the link to the wife's statement and to Nick's Rumble Live from yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Subarctic Psycho for 2. Concerned emoji, which I agree. I agree that the world is in a little bit of concern right now. Moonman for 5 says, recent Brassfax videos say we don't finish our end towers. Yes, for every end tower that falls, another will rise to take its place in glory. Thank you, Moonman. Noni Noov says, good evening, genitals. Good evening, Noni Noov. Subarctic Psycho says, hi, Focus Trip's mom. Yes, she's probably watching right now. Let me see if she's texted me. She texted me earlier. I think they're a little bit under the weather, so you guys should actually pray for my mom. How about that? Appreciate that, Subarctic. New Actual for 5 says, I honestly can't make up my mind about the incident. It's not if there is collusion, but how much. Either way, taking the boys to train tomorrow. Very based. In fact, actually, need to make a statement right here. If you have not dry fired today, you should start doing so now during the rest of the stream. If you have not exercised in any way, shape, or form, you should plug in your earbuds and go on a walk right now. If you haven't said that you love them to your closest friends and family, you should probably do that as well today, okay? And that's the rules for being on this stream. You actually got to do something productive. You can't just be here rotting away, isolated and not doing anything good for yourself. We gotta hold each other to account, all right? Noob Actual for 5. Oh, yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, get out there and get after it, man. The Light Sport for 5 says, I've decided when we come to power, the camps will also have a subsection for shanty enjoyers. Fair enough. I imagine for you that is the torture chamber. Grinder for 5 says, unfortunately, Trench doesn't eat tacos. Well, he's probably not going to that charity match. Let me see, actually, if I have that link yet. Credence Bill of Lading? That's not it. Where is it? Jen Apartment. Okay, here we go. Well, actually, can I save this? I should be able to save this. Please let me save this image. There we go. All right, so I'm going to leave this up on screen, gentlemen. This is for the charity match for the veteran who has stage 4 cancer, gentlemen. And if you want to donate to him and his family, these are the ways to do so. Thank you, Grinder, for that. Moonman for 2 says, Richard, racist anime girl. Well, you got to be more specific. There are many racist anime girls. Thank you, Moonman.
Yeah, he wasn't specific, and I chose the wrong one initially.
Did he get mad at you?
Yeah,
How dare you?
like, wrong one.
Grinder for 5 says, we here at Grinder would love to sponsor Focus. Nope, nobody sponsors Focus. Will you put up one of our posters? No. Thank you, Grinder, but no thank you.
Grinder, just cut me a check. I already have a poster behind me. You just can't see it.
Todd and Dogs for 2. He's already your top subscriber. Todd and Dogs for 2 says, Cash Patel, 33 confirmed, masked shooter, not Tyler. Yeah, there was, Cash Patel was saying, in 33 hours it took us to find the shooter, which there's always like these little signs and tells, and it makes everybody go, something's not adding up here. Thank you, Todd and Dogs. Everyday American says, is the guy a liberal or a MAGA guy? I've heard everyone pointing fingers. I don't even think this guy did it. Well, the guy is, according to his family, a lefty. According to his friends, a lefty. Right.
His roommate.
That's what I would tend to believe with the evidence that we have available right now. The only thing that's quote-unquote right-wing about him is a doctored photograph. That's just a straight-up lie, right? So that's the only evidence to the contrary. The Light Sport for 2 says, Arrowhead probably shooting bricks right now. Well, what's funny is that they sell a sweatshirt with that arrow combination, right? Up, left, down, down, down. They sell that sweatshirt by itself. I think Ben Steger has one, actually. So that actually could become a symbol of these people if they wish to commit more violence using that symbol. Thank you, the Light Sport. Moonman for 5 says, how tiny is his handwriting to fit all of this on a rifle casing? Well, a 30-06 is like that big. It's like a full line. Like, you can write a lot in that much. Thank you, Moonman. Just a Gun Guy for 2 says, not my 500-kilogram bomb. Yes, up, right, down, 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 my fellow divers. Well, that's the thing about video games when it's easy access. People get into... sorry, I have Ben's messaging me to confirm that, yes, the bulge is a furry thing. Thank you. I really needed to know that. Thank you. I appreciate it, Ben. Hope you're having a good night. Moonman says, Nick is a gay Mexican boy and is cringe. However, whoever gets me sweet, sweet Minecraft. Robert Kinley says, Joe McCarthy was right. You talking about McCarthyism? Thank you for your service. Well, hope you're having a good night, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Boy Anderson for 5, says, imagine living through 9/11's, Andrew Hook, Tommy Crooks, Aldian's Vegas show, COVID, etc., and somehow still be so dumb to believe real-time reports. Are you talking about, so as far as I'm concerned, when it goes to this sort of stuff, the only thing that you know for sure is false is the official story, right? That's the only thing you can be sure is not 100% true. Everyday American for 10 says, Ben Shapiro said he will take over for Charlie going to campuses. Old BB also tweeted about his death mere minutes after the shots rang out, almost like he knew what happened. Then Shapiro steps up. Listen, Shapiro cannot replace Charlie Kirk's, because Charlie Kirk's believed in the one and only Savior Jesus Christ, and Ben Shapiro believes Jesus is boiling in a lake of excrement. So Ben Shapiro cannot replace Charlie Kirk. It's not possible. Thank you, Everyday American. Appreciate it, man. Wasatchka Randman for 10 says, Mormon here. More man here or Mormon here? We don't affirm gays within our church. We believe in the same thing every other denomination does. Marriage is between a man and a woman. Gays exists. That's about as far as it goes. Well, I wonder what I was hearing then, because I don't know if it's maybe like you can't have a Mormon wedding while gay, but can you like still be a member of your church, I wonder?
Marriage between a man and a woman and another woman and a man.
Stop it. That was outlawed in the late 1800s or something. Pat, safely strapped for 2 says, I put Charlie's legit GoFund in Discord. Yes, there is a GoFundMe that's put on by Tucker Carlson that goes to the wife and kids, and I hope that they never have to worry about anything financially ever again. Stealth, member for 1 month, says a lot of leftoids have conservative families. Yeah, ask me how I know. Thank you, Stealth.
It's the rebellious youth.
Boy Anderson for 2 says, Protestants shall and will never trust Mormons. Why are we spelling it this way? Is this just a joke now? We spell it Mormons. Yeah, I think Christians at large, whether that's Orthodox, Catholic, or Protestant, don't view Mormons as Christians because they have polluted dogmas, let's say. Thank you, Boy Anderson. Maximus for 2 says, internet is a better radicalizer than college. You think that, but the colleges have been working for far longer, and they've been very, very efficient at it. You would be shocked at how many normal people I know go into college and come out the other side literally transfigured into other beings.
The college relies on the internet, sir.
Well, I mean that too. I don't know if it's completely inseparable one way or the other in the modern day and age.
Yeah.
Central Sands Defense says, my whole family is liberal. I'm the only conservative. Well, hey, you got it in reverse. You know, the thing about that though is I do agree. I think the liberals like pretend to be like the nice group, but I think that they are the first to cause violence in a lot of these ways or to cast you out. So for instance, my conservative family will always reach out to the liberal family members. Always. Liberal family members will kick you out, and they do not want anything to do with you whatsoever. At least in my experience. Thank you, Central Sands Defense. Dr. Fuzzy for 2 says, SB89 is not letting Kash Patel into Valhalla. That is correct. That is correct. He will be standing guard, making sure that man does not get in there. Chud for 2 says, who butchered that poor Car 98? Or Mauser M98, whatever it was. Some Discord degenerate murdered that M98. Everyday American for 10 says, doesn't matter who offed Kirk, the reaction exposed exactly who they were. That's true. That is very true. And so, well, my take on that aspect of it, Everyday American, I do appreciate that, sir, is that if the plan was to foment some sort of unrest and civil war, we, even if we're aware of that, even if we know that that was the intention to kick off some sort of social unrest or to head us in that direction, we might not be able to stop it, but we're kind of just along for the ride at this point, if that makes sense. Tuss the Third says, was Garand Thumb breeding in Utah 23 years ago? No, he would have only been like 18, 17. I think he was still a California drama school kid at that point, to be honest. Thank you, Tusk. Looks like the son of Thumb. I mean, you never know. You never know. There's a theoretical possibility of that being true. Nobody know of says Officer Nate Higgers is out on official business. Excuse me. Well, I hope Mr. Higgers, Officer Higgers, is doing a good job. Chud for 2 says picture is blurry, but that safety looks modified. Again, I will leave that up to the gun artists, such as Vintage Warfare, to tell me the correct interpretation of that device. Mitzvot for 2 says Richard Cranium, Reis, Germany. Reis, Germany, I'm sorry. Reis Gremery. What is Reis Gremery? Do I want to know? Richard, did you look that up? What the heck is... I think he wants your PFP to be Reis Gremery.
I will look it up.
Moonman for 5 says, I can send you the furry OC if you want. No, thank you. It's ancient. My Discord bio thingy about the Anne Frank attic is a reference to it. See, furry lore is not a path that this channel ever needs to go down, but thank you. Kim Jong-un and the Dork Band, sorry, for 2 says, look how why Office Depot is trending. Oh no, why is Office Depot trending? What did they do? Other than having a banger song, why is Office Depot trending? Do I really
Sir,
want to...
I don't think I can... well, there are some... Oh no, I definitely can't put those up. That's bad.
Oh, okay. So apparently, if this is correct, let me go ahead and post this real fast. So apparently, they are refusing to print out Charlie Kirk tribute posters for Vigils tonight. They called it propaganda. And these are the these individuals are the people telling you you can't print out Charlie Kirk posters for your vigils honoring his life and his death. All right, and look at the, apparently this is the legendary Charlie Kirk. That's just a very simple poster, and they won't let you print it out. These are the people gatekeeping who you can and can't pay respects to. I'll leave that image up on screen. Chipeth for 5 says Paramount Tactical has a vid showing it ricocheted off Charlie's plate. That's another area where I'm not going to delve into that because it's irrelevant. It's really not relevant. Thank you, Chipeth. But I do thank you for the input. You know, if you guys want to be autistic about what actually happened, the mechanics of all that, I get it, but it's just not relevant going forward, right? Robert Kinley for 2 says, on second thought, McCarthyism may have been too lenient. You know, they called him wrong and all sorts of terrible names and ruined his legacy, but I think history has vindicated the man, to be completely honest with you. Almost certainly vindicated the man. All right. Yeah, you don't want to get into it about what the exact reasoning is. We can watch some minutes of this. This is gonna be a little rough, I imagine, coming from the widow, Mrs. Erica Kirk. Let me just scroll ahead.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr.
No, I don't think we're going to watch the whole thing. But I mean, some people are asking, like, how could she be doing this right now just because it's so soon after her husband's passing? I don't think I could. I don't think I could be this composed on a broadcast talking about my dead significant other, like, the day after, 2 days after. I don't think I could be this composed, which I think that element is throwing some people off in the chat. But also I think it's just, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a terrible thing to go through. And I don't know if it's just because she's that well composed that she can make it through a statement this long without breaking down. But damn, I couldn't do it, like I said. Yeah.
It does get a little heavier later when she starts talking about her daughter coming in and asking where daddy is.
Well, do you remember there was a clip going around of Charlie on the whatever podcast talking to these, thoughts or whatever they are, and essentially he's like trying to tell them, like, well, the greatest thing in the world isn't any of this like nonsense presidents, anything like that. It's like feeling my daughter like hug me, basically, right?
I have that clip handy if you'd like to play it.
If you want to send it, yeah, I will. I'll take a look at that one.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, it was very, very rough to watch this earlier. But she did say that they are going to continue.
Well, Turning Point USA as a brand, we were kind of talking about it earlier today in the Discord, is worth about $20 million. So they have a significant presence in politics and in different spheres, and they're connected with all the right people. So they will certainly continue events, continue Charlie's legacy. They will figuratively and legitimately need somebody to fill his chair, right? So I'm not sure if that's going to be one of the other hosts, because I think there are 3 other hosts of the show that they do on YouTube, their podcast. But they will still continue to do events, and they will be figuring out a new figurehead, whether that is Mrs. Kirk or somebody else.
Yeah. Check your Discord. the short clip for the whatever podcast is there.
Oh, you discorded it?
Yeah, it just could be coming through right now. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry.
Nope, wrong one. Nice
I
try.
have so
You
many-
almost got it.
So many links. Sorry.
You're good. You're a little discombobulated.
I am very much. This is...
All right, well, let me know when
loaded.
it's over.
It is not wanting to cooperate, but this should do it. There we go. That should be the right one.
Vincent
Yes.
Boogaloo for 2 says, Christ is Lord. God bless you all. Indeed. Thank you. Okay.
There we go.
So I apologize. There's going to be women on screen, but avert your eyes if necessary.
I've had, and I can tell you I'm super blessed. I have the best wife in the world. We have an amazing life. Building a family is the coolest thing ever. And my prayer for all of you is that you one day can do that.
That's so cute.
It's honestly the most joyful thing. And I've had some pretty amazing experiences. I've been very, very blessed. Very lucky, you could say, but very blessed is the word I would use. And the greatest joy I've ever had is coming home to my little daughter running up to my leg. There's nothing that even comes close to it. Not flying on Air Force One, not meeting with presidents. That pales in comparison to your little girl coming up and squeezing your leg.
Yeah. And that's the hateful man that they had to kill. But I mean, there's a lot of truth in that as well for me personally. Like my 3 children, 5. Yesterday, 9/11, we celebrated my daughter's 3rd birthday. I got my second son's first birthday coming up at the end of the month. And yeah, you'd leave all the whatever you want to call it for your kids, whatever it would be. You would do anything for your kids. And I'm sure Charlie was the same way. And it is just sad that his children will never have the opportunity to really know him, but they will. His effect will be indelible, right?
His voice will never be silenced.
Excuse me, as I try not to lose it either. Like, they will hear that clip someday.
They absolutely will. And I don't know if this is true or not, but
very dark.
I heard a statement that when the shot actually rang out, his daughter.
Yep. No, that is correct. So his daughter, the story goes, attempted to run towards him because she was scared of the noise.
That broke me.
Good evening, everybody. You are watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. I am joining you tonight under some very dark circumstances. Normally, I like to say we got a great show for you tonight, and I think it's going to be an excellent show, but of course, the news is unbelievably tragic. Tonight, as you know, you're all gathered here. We're going to talk tonight about the death of Charlie Kirk. And even saying that out loud, the words are still very surreal and disturbing. I said this last night, and I meant it as I watched the chaos and the tragedy unfold yesterday afternoon. And I know everybody else feels exactly the same way. It didn't feel real. That's the characterization I keep seeing from everybody on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. People have been profoundly affected by this, and we're not sure why. And hopefully we can talk a little bit about maybe why that is. But as I said yesterday, like many of you, I got the alert from a friend of mine who I believe was either at the event or had friends at the event at UVU in Utah. A friend of mine texted me and said, Charlie has been shot. I said, Charlie Kirk? They said, yes. And we watched it unfold live. We're still getting updates. We don't know exactly what transpired. And again, we'll get into some of that as well. Some of the uncertainties and unanswered questions. But I am devastated and legitimately affected and struck viscerally. Such a sensational video, images, such an unspeakable, horrible tragedy. And I literally had to take a day to collect myself. Normally, this is a current events show. I'm live every night and I discuss the news of the day. And I've been there through many of the big developments over the years. Same day, January 6th, Trump assassination attempt, the elections, the pandemic. But this one was different. And I think everybody feels that way about it. It felt like a nightmare. That's the only way that I can accurately describe it, actually. Throughout the entire day yesterday, I just could not process it. It did not sink in. It still hasn't fully sunk in. Like I said earlier, you say those words, the death of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the murder of Charlie Kirk. I watched his Wikipedia page go from Charlie Kirk is to Charlie Kirk was. It doesn't feel real. It feels like a nightmare that we'll never wake up from. And I say that as somebody who was not even a fan, not a friend, and actually an adversary, a foe. I can only imagine what his friends, his colleagues, and especially his wife, his young children, you can only imagine what they're going through. And so what happened yesterday is still so raw and so sensitive. The country is profoundly affected, at least some of it is. We'll talk about that too. And so tonight I'm going to try to the best of my ability, carry out my responsibility. I believe, and I think you know, that I'm somebody that many of the young people, young conservatives are looking up to. I have a lot of credibility with the far right, the radical right. And throughout his career, Charlie Kirk always characterized me as a troll. I don't say that with any malice at this point in time, but that's what he said. And many in Turning Point USA said that I and my followers are nihilistic. We only want destruction. And I think that I have an obligation to the country. I think I have an obligation to God. I think I have an obligation to all of you. I think I have responsibility to prove that that is not true. It's not about me, but now that it is the morning after, the day has dawned where Charlie Kirk is now dead at the hands of some unknown attacker. It is our responsibility, mine and all of ours, to step up and to get serious. To the extent that politics was fun or we took it lightly, I think we now realize it just got very real. It's been real. People talk about a civil war. They say a war is coming. Some say we're already in one. We have an obligation now. The leaders, the spokesmen, the men, the young men, the elderly men, we have an obligation to lead. And I want to start, before we get into any of it, by saying this, just as a general note. I've been around now for 7 or 8 years. That's not a very long time, but it's long enough. I've lived through a lot of these events, Charlottesville, January 6th, the Groyper War, many things. And I know that in my career, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done things I regret, said things I regret. I've made a lot of the same mistakes twice. And I've been lucky because I've lived and I have this platform and I'm able to speak to all of you in spite of that. And I think maybe one of the reasons why is because I have been afforded the opportunity to learn a lot. Having been in the center of dissident right-wing politics, far-right politics, in the center of this cultural moment, whatever you want to call that, as an archetypal, disaffected young white man, angry young white man, Trump supporter, however you want to characterize that, I have been in the thick of it for a very long time. And seeing many crises and tragedies and things that we cannot explain, things that are difficult to cope with. I will say first, as I said, as a general note, before we move on, it cannot be overstated how important it is in a time like this to put our intentions in alignment with the will of God. Everybody's very emotional. Everybody is whipped up, and rightfully so, justifiably so. People are furious. I don't know that the left fully understands that. I don't know that normies fully understand that. People are absolutely beside themselves. I've never seen the right wing more angry, more furious, and this has been building. Here we are today, the day after Charlie Kirk has been killed, but we're starting here in the middle of the story. It's been going on for over a decade, and these things compound over time and they accumulate.
You're muted.
My bad. We don't need to go through that whole thing, but the point that I'm trying to make here with Nick is that I've been reading basically everything in the chat. Everybody that loves him, everybody that hates him, everybody that, you know, the other allegations of some of the things that he's been in part of over the years. Whether you like him or not, you need to recognize that he's now perhaps become the most powerful figure on the young right, so to speak, whether you like it or not, right? Last night he had 175,000 people watching him live, which was more than like almost everybody else combined at the same time. This now is heading towards 2 million views on a live stream, right? On Rumble, on an alternative platform, and the clips are going mega viral everywhere else. So now Nick has mentioned that he's very young, he's made a lot of mistakes, and so it is, if you're a fan of Nick, and as I know that there are some, and I'm also Reformed Renegades, I'm also a bit of a Fuentes agnostic. I've not followed his stuff. I don't know many of his political takes. I've seen some of the wackier clips, some of the memes and stuff like that, of course, that go viral or get used, you know, in Reels or other places. So I've seen a lot of him. But all of that is sort of irrelevant. So if you are a fan of Nick Fuentes, if you're quote-unquote a Groyper, follower, supporter, whatever it needs to be, you need to be hyper aware of what he's doing. Because if he's going to be an important political figure for you, it's your job to hold him to account and to keep him on track, right? And also, his message there was really good about at this time, there's a lot of tension right now, and he specifically in this monologue says that if you pick up arms to do violence, that he disowns you, he disavows you. That is not what we need to do right now. We are consolidating power without having to do a thing. Yesterday, there were hundreds or thousands of people that were employed that are no longer employed for their gloating over Charlie Kirk's death. There are people that are going to be taken to court, sued, all sorts of things are going to happen without having to lift a finger in terms of violence. There may come a time for that sort of thing, assuredly, but you as young men, as middle-aged men, as elderly men need to become the leaders that you need to be, which is going to be focusing on yourself, building up your net worth, your family, your community, and your spirituality as well. So I'm a Protestant Christian, and I have many Catholic and Orthodox friends and people in the chat right now, but that is something that you need to get right sooner rather than later, I would say.
Yeah, while I agree, I don't think that that's going to be enough to sate the current bloodlust that the nation has. They want to see people pay for this.
They do. I 100% agree. But all it takes is to undo all of the good that has happened over the past few days. All of the momentum that is now currently in the hands of the right wing is for some retard to, like, I don't know, shoot a professor or something. That's literally all it takes. And to be like, throw up the HH as he kills somebody, right? That's all it would take to undo and set everything back that has been accomplished over the past few days. Because as we've seen, the right has galvanized and has taken up arms metaphorically, right? We've kind of come together over all of these issues, which is good, which makes us far more powerful. So I would recommend that you don't dissolve that disunity, rather you use it to create power for your side. Because the left is going to try and take power for their side, so you should be doing the same, because it is your duty by God, right? try and ensure for your family and your future. Well, on to lighter topics, I suppose. That concludes, hopefully, the Charlie Kirk saga, his assassination. Pray for him, pray for his family, and for the future of the country. And we will move on to GunTube topics now, because after all, as people are pointing out in the chat, isn't this a GunTube channel?
What? We talk about guns?
Kind of. We talk about everything. That's what I've outgrown GunTube. I'm bigger than GunTube. I talk about everything. So, especially with something like this. Everyday American for 2 says, what did old Hop say about 30-06? Yes, it is just ironic timing that Hop said that 30-06 is for a pedophile. And then, of course, a lefty murders Charlie Kirk with a 30-06, which is just...
Uncle, who was a big mouth braggart, and all he did was brag about how wonderful the 30-06 was. He was also a pedophile, which made me like him and the cartridge even less.
Yeah, 30-06 is for pedophiles. That's right. Thank you, Everyday American. Rhino67 for 5 says, Tucker, your brother needs RSO in Oklahoma. It's nearly free at dispensaries by law. Saved 2 in my family from stage 4. All systems, including brain. RSO.
RSO.
Well, hey, Tucker. Go ahead.
It's cannabis oil.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't think his brother would be opposed to hearing it. So, Rhino, if you want me, I can drop his Instagram link back in the chat, and feel free to send him a message, good sir, because I don't think that he would be opposed to hearing that. Thank you, Rhino.
I've looked into that because my father also has cancer, so exploring options.
Sabardic Psycho for 5 says, did everyone forget about the Catboy gay allegations with Nick? Am I the only one who remembers it? Well, so that's the thing. While I have heard all of those allegations, the people pushing them, right, it's like if a mainstream media is pushing like a story about an event or something happening against somebody ostensibly on the right, you got to be a little bit skeptical about those claims. I personally haven't looked into it, but if true, very funny. No one you know of says Romans 12, 19 through 21. Well, I mean, yeah, so that is the never avenge yourself. So it has to be greater than vengeance, right? Because vengeance is personal, while justice is commanded by God, right? Righteous judgment is what we need, not vengeance. Because vengeance will always lead a place you don't want to go. And Moonman for 2 just puts up his black queen, fingernails. Appreciate it, Mr. Moonman. Over on Ko-Fi, Afghanistan says, I'm working back to my faith that I lost and appreciate you all for the help. Well, hey, we appreciate it here, man, and thanks. That's very good to hear. That's very encouraging, sir. Thank you.
Afghanistan?
I don't know if that's a reference to something, but fair enough. Well, okay. Back to silly topics now. We can all calm down. Did you see that Kyle Rittenhouse they sold his account to the Dudley Brown of Nagger?
I did see that. And it's so weird to see the previous tweets from Kyle.
Yeah, so you can see that he changed it from "This is Kyle R" to "Gun Rights Prez," and so it changed it to Dudley Brown. So he sold his Twitter account, which is like, okay, that's a little awkward. But let me see if I can find the tweet, because there's that one tweet that he had up. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, so they still left up some of the old tweets that were under originally Kyle Rittenhouse, but then now it just has Dudley Brown spray painted on top of him. And the reason why you would sell your Twitter account, I guess, is to get more views or to get more outreach or something. So you hand Kyle Rittenhouse like 10 grand, 100 grand, whatever it might be, to buy his Twitter handle and then change it, which I think that's a scummy thing to do in general. I think that's scummy to do, because you're essentially like,
you're buying followers.
You're buying followers, essentially that. But you're all those followers that followed Kyle because he was Kyle and for the things that he went through and stood for. You're now
Don't
just
care
trying to
about this
say,
guy.
well, actually support NAGR, which I believe it's NAGR, right? North American Gun Rights or National Association of Gun Rights. It should be the National Institute of Gun Rights. Can we all agree on that? It should be the National Institute of Gun Rights, right? Not NAGR, but the other one. Purely for my own comedic purposes. Speaking of comedy, though, a 13-year-old arrested, 23 guns seized after alleged school shooting threat. Whoa. This was posted in the Discord. I don't even think I've seen this yet, but apparently, yeah, this 13-year-old made a threat, and then they went in and took all of his dad's guns, I want to say, is how the story plays out. But we have the full video here, so we'll find out together.
Washington now, where police say they seized 23 guns from the home of a 13-year-old who appeared to be fixated on school shooters. Police arrested the teen after finding some disturbing social media posts. Yesterday, he pleaded not guilty to charges of unlawful firearms possession.
13-year-old? What are we talking about pleading guilty for anything? There's no way they could charge him as an adult. But I mean, it looks like a pretty serious collection of, mediocre firearms, but it looks like there's a couple, decent options in there. A few actual setups. Most of them have no optics on them. A couple of them have optics and lights. So whoever actually owns these isn't completely incompetent. Can I play?
And making a threat. Let's go to CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez covering the story for us. Andres, what did deputies find and why did they act so quickly?
Well, Elizabeth, a possible tragedy was averted all because someone saw something and said something. Let's take you.
Unbound Citizen. Me neither. Unbound Citizen says, did you see the wonderful short where AOC said we should have common sense gun laws like people convicted of domestic violence not being able to buy? Newsflash, AOC, that's already the law. Maybe if you're prescribing laws for this nation, you should understand them. Kind of part of your job.
No. See, this is the infinite glitch here. This is job security for her because she gets to go out and recommend that additional laws be put in place that already exist. Mm-hmm. People applaud her and say, yes, we need to do that. And then nothing happens. And then she can continue to ask for more laws that already exist.
Dog brain moment, real.
Back to Friday, that's when Pierce County Sheriff deputies received a tip that a 13-year-old was online making threats that he had.
No, AOC already has a boy toy, doesn't she? Isn't she married to some ginger dude?
Yeah, some fairly rich white guy.
Yes.
Guns. About 12 hours later at 1 a.m. Saturday, SWAT members showed up to the kid's house in Parkland, Washington. Inside, deputies found 20.
Bro, I used to live near there.
To the kid's house in Parkland, Washington. Inside, deputies found 23 weapons. You could see them right there on your screen. 8 handguns, 2 shots.
Oh, shockwave pistol with a 9mm Glock lower. No. Mm-hmm. No optics. 1 LPVO with a mega brake on it. That looks like kind of like a gamer gun. I think that's a Holosun 510C up top. Looks like a Bear Creek Arsenal fluted barrel on there with a mega brake.
It is.
BCM handguard.
The AK on the right is a 12 gauge.
Odin Mini. Oh, that's a 12 gauge AK.
That's one of the Chinese ones that was like $200. Yeah.
We have an Odin Mini on there. I want an Olight Odin Mini. Okay, all right.
That was one of the few Olights that I didn't mind. The turbo was trash, but the Mini wasn't. If I could pick one up for like $40.
He just wanted to be a gun tuber, true. Olight stay taken out.
Guns and the rest of them semi-automatic rifles. Some of them were in a safe, but many, according to authorities, were out in the open, mounted on walls or left around the house. As you can imagine, there were also several boxes of ammo. And here is the
I spot that horrible skeletonized lower up there with all the cutouts and then attached to a generic carbine stock with no optics. Ugh.
So those
were being bit. Those
were 80%. There was a lot of
there's
those.
actually a couple of them. There's a black one here too. And that one, damn, that one too. Wow, and a skeletonized upper. Ugh, gross.
So that one over there, that looks like that might actually be an F1. Looking by the, I don't know, the
No,
handguard.
I think it's Olympic Arms. The handguard, I think, is an old Olympic Arms build, which is from Olympia, Washington, back when they were in business.
Actually, no.
I could be wrong about that, but yeah.
Also found loaded magazines inscribed with references to the Columbine massacre on them. This was allegedly found inside the team's.
Moonman, you have got to up your budget, okay? If you're going to commit a mass atrocity like this, Moonman, like, this is pathetic. No class. Absolutely no class. No Geisleys, no DDs. Just absolute slop. Moonman, you know what? You deserve to have your budget cut, Moonman. Okay? We're going to fire you from your department.
Go bag. Investigators say the teen had also posted photos of himself holding guns online and posted on Telegram, quote, "When I turn 21, I'm going to kill people."
A 13-year-old confessing to doing crimes in 8 years from now. At least the handguns have sights on them, I suppose.
Was also fixated on attacks like the 2017
Was that a
Charleston
P320?
church shooting.
There might be one. I can't tell too much.
And the 2022 school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Deputies believed it was only a matter of time unless they intervened.
Yep,
Yeah.
right there.
Enough writings from that suspect.
The shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Deputies believed it was only a matter of time unless they intervened.
Yeah. Enough writings from that suspect that would conclude essentially some harm was going to be coming to individuals.
And now, while this boy did reference school shootings online, investigators say he did not have plans to attack a specific school. Get this, he actually himself has not been inside a school building since 2021, since he was 9 years old. He's been homeschooled since then. Right now, he is...
So committing a school shooting would just be fratricide. He wanted to commit fratricide. Was he getting bullied in school?
Oh my god. Oh, I
He
just
was
hope he didn't want to
homeschooled,
sleep
bro.
with the teacher.
What? Oh, no, stop it. You made it even worse, bro. Damn.
Well, he's already weird enough.
What was the crime here? I don't know. This is wacky.
He is sitting inside a juvenile detention center there in Washington State after, as you said, he made his first court appearance yesterday afternoon.
AOC's next move. It's time to ban assault rifle purchases for 13-year-olds. No more assault rifles for them. We gotta keep the 9-year-olds out of the gun stores. They're causing too much havoc in our home schools.
9-year-olds with machine guns.
He will be back in front of a judge for a detention review, is what they call it, later this month.
Andres, just listening to the details of this case and looking at just the arsenal that this 13-year-old
Arsenal that this teenager had acquired. How did he do that? Well, it was his dad's guns. Now, what we should do, we should arrest the father for having such a terrible collection of firearms. I think I'm actually fine with that. If AOC wants to pass a law banning cringe collections, I think that is something we can all get behind.
Yeah, I think it is definitely an arrestable offense to have them out on display, proud of them like that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
kid had. You got to wonder, how did he purchase those weapons? I mean, what about the parents and safe storage?
This lady is probably a nice lady, but her voice is actually makes me want to kill myself in Minecraft. YouTube, please chill. YouTube, that was a joke, please. My camera just auto adjusted to me as I did that, even though I don't have the track. Oh, it's because I use my hand, isn't it? Yeah. That has that AI tracking thing. Never mind. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You got to wonder, how did he purchase those weapons? I mean, what about the parents and safe storage? Could they also be charged in this?
Well, right now they're looking into this, Elizabeth. It's all under review. I did talk.
Well, if it is in Washington State, when I left almost 3 years ago at this point, they were passing all sorts of safe storage requirements and whatnot. So yeah, if they were not safely stored, they're going to get additional charges for that. Right, because they were trying to pass all sorts of crazy requirements on where you could and could not have handguns and rifles and stuff like that. Like, as you can see, there may or may not be a few firearms around me right now, which could be construed as illegal in another state, right? Just because they're not safely stored.
You have an assault cello.
Well, the assault cello as well. I'm going to get banned for that. High capacity cello strings.
Talked to the sheriff deputy that you heard from moments ago. I talked to her this afternoon, and she ended up telling me that social media posts from the teen would suggest that he did have access to the gun safes, and he posted images of the safe open with the weapons that he was holding at the time that photo was taken. And so there is state law there in Washington that parents can be charged after the fact if the minor gets to a gun and it ends up leading to harm.
Oh, I lied. Sorry, that's not a BCM handguard. That's one of the Aero Precision quantum lock handguards or whatever they used to call them. They don't make them anymore, but that's what that one there is.
Or a credible threat, and there are around the country.
They can only charge the parents if the kid actually does something or makes a credible threat.
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know. But here's an interesting thing. If a teenager poses with guns and says, I'm going to commit an atrocity.
In 8 years.
Well, no. Or just says in general, right? Should the police step in? Like, surely that's something they should at least, like, knock on the door and be like, hey, ma'am or dad.
That should be a wellness check.
Well, right, but it should be, like, the parents should be informed of what their child is doing.
Right, it shouldn't be a 1 a.m. raid on a Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, it's... Well, I mean, so apparently he made threats and said that he wanted to commit a mass casualty event and posted with pictures of guns. So surely this is worth a knock at the door to talk to the parents.
He hadn't attended a school in 5 years, but wanted to show up just for this.
Mental health eval, parents made for sure. I mean, just like anything, like if take the guns out of it, if I just posted a picture on Instagram of just myself like this and saying like, I can't wait to commit mass atrocities at my local X, you know, with an unspecified time frame, I still think I should get a visit from the police.
X is now a business, sir. Watch it.
That's sorry, Elon. I apologize. Don't ban me.
Other rules that vary from state to state, that some states require locks at any time.
Actually, yeah, it would be better if they just fought it out on the playground. Yes. Now the problem is, the complication is in Washington there are safe storage laws, meaning that if they are not properly locked up and a minor has access to them, they can charge you for that alone.
That a gun isn't under control, and others only end up penalizing the parents if the child actually gets a hold of one. So for right now, the parents in this case, they're still out and about. They probably have lawyered up by now. Investigators continue to talk with them. I did talk to the prosecutor's office this afternoon, and they are at this point awaiting for the case file to be sent over to them so they can review a complete review and figure out whether or not the parents will in fact be charged or not in this particular case. Elizabeth?
Also, I do want to say now, while this might just be a 13-year-old being an edgy boy, I also want to say that if you're a parent, your kid should not be on Telegram. They shouldn't be posting pictures of guns on Instagram. That is just unwise at its core. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think kids should have cell phones, like, till they can have a job. Till they're old enough to have a job, then they can have a cell phone. How about that? Now, obviously, there's, exceptions, and different people have different circumstances or whatnot, but that's my opinion. I don't think these kids need the black hole devices, like at 9 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old.
A smartphone, I agree they shouldn't be having a smartphone. Now, there is a thing called a jitterbug that my cousin ended up with when he was younger. It had 2 or 3 buttons on it. It had make call, end call, 911. And it only had like 3 buttons, right? 1, 2, and 3. It had numbers pre-programmed in it. And you could choose what 3 numbers those were. It didn't have any of the extra stuff. That was it. And it was just for them to be able to use an emergency situation.
You can, like, my first phone was when I got a job when I was 16 years old. I worked at the local grocery store as a box boy. I, helped people with groceries. I stocked shelves. And back in the day, I think I had a a Motorola Jester, and it was like one of those slide phones where, not a flip phone, but it was a slide phone where you slide the screen up and then you can type on it. That's what I had grown up.
Well,
High tech,
some
baby.
of these other ones now for kids, they don't even have a full keypad. They just have the couple of numbers.
They're calling you a boomer. They're calling you a boomer, Richard.
Yeah, that's same thing. Senile, old people, young kids, same thing.
Mm. Well, speaking of, well, actually, let's get to these first. Josh for 5 says, "Start digging in your butt, twin." Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Josh. Chud McGee.
Hold on,
for
wait.
2
How
says,
did you know what that even was?
Because people had sent that to me before, and I had to ask what it was. So people informed me recently. So Chud McGill for 2 says, "Love y'all, gents. Gotta hop out for a bit. Pregnant black man, Twin Towers. Pregnant black man, playing emoji." Well, hey, you have a good night, Chud. I appreciate it, man. We're all Chuds here. DF88 for 2 says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." Indeed. Indeed, correct. But God still uses his people and events and all sorts of things to execute his judgment. So it's important to not be a pacifist in this and to not be placated. For instance, David did not try to convert Goliath or try to reason with Goliath. He simply did what he was asked to by God. Thank you, DF88. Moonman for 5 says, "Honestly, if my dad had this gun collection, I would be violent too." Fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate it, Moonman. Everyday American for 5 says, "It should be illegal for people under 18 to see the internet." Okay, here's my hot take. The internet, voting rights, and driving should be gatekept by an IQ test. That's right. I said it. You must be this smart to ride the ride. I said it.
Hey, at least you didn't say tall.
Well, I wouldn't make the tall test, so I gotta go with something else.
Gotta lower the bar.
Literally gotta lower the bar. New Actual for 5 says, "It still baffles me that people will think these are good setups and the most dangerous arsenals ever." Well, and you can tell that these people have no idea.
The news told them it's the most dangerous.
Well, the hosts have no idea. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just spewing retarded nonsense. Thank you, Noob Actual.
But the people think that the hosts know what they're talking about.
Ray Polocost for 5 says, "This was all to divide and distract us. When the other side wishes death on you and your family, we are already divided." Kind of black pill thought. Well, I don't black pill, right? There's political realization, right, of that there may be no real political solution out of here, right? We might not be able to vote our way out of this one, gents.
Oh God! Speaking of realization, I just realized his name. That's that's hilarious.
Right, but I lost my train of thought now, damn it.
Sorry.
But we still don't black pill, right? People during the Black Death, people during the first 3 centuries where Christians were being martyred constantly, still had families, still had children, still built their community. And it's important to remember that while Christianity was outlawed for the first 300 years, it was in 310 when we successfully converted the Eastern Roman Empire to Christianity, and it is the longest running empire in history. For over a millennia, it was a Christian empire. Byzantium. So don't black pill. Waste of time. Work on yourself, work on your family, work on your community. Lost Arrow says, "Get TA Target on Streamlaw." Well, he started responding to me and his tone changed. So maybe we can get him on stream. Although he'll probably want to have a private conversation now, when he didn't before. Ray Polocost says, "Anyone else here, circumcisions on Jews are way down." Oh, and then he follows up saying, "Yeah, they heard no more taxes on tips." That's good. That's good. Which tips also apparently include these super chats. Donald Trump said streamers and entertainers and influencers are also tax-free for the first $25,000. So,
hey.
Tax-free, baby. But that was also a very good joke, Ray Polocost. I appreciate that, man. That was good. Thank you, sir.
His name, I can't believe I didn't get
Ray
that.
Polocost is a great name, man. Speaking of a great name, LMT, Learning Machining Together, all of their Estonia US-made assault rifles undergo warranty repairs. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Lewis Machine Tool Company, Automatic Weapons, Source, Center for Defense Investment. It's a cool little rifle. Now, they've been selling these Estonia contract rifles on the civilian market for a little while. And, you know, I've heard mixed things about them. LMT has a really high, but their quality control, especially on the civilian side, just continuously lets them down because it just gets worse and worse. Like, I feel like if they could actually put something together properly, they could be tippity top tier and no one would even complain about it. Lazily made toys, that's funny. I do not buy an upper from LMT. Yeah, womp womp. 6 years ago, Estonia bought millions worth of precision weapons from U.S. arms maker LMT Defense, but the poor quality batch had to be sent back for repair. And by poor quality batch, they meant all of the U.S. made ones. If an automatic rifle misses the target by 30 centimeters, now do not be scared, that's approximately 12 inches, from 300 meters away, so that is 4 MOA, right? 1.5 mils, 4 MOA roughly. Then for a precision rifle, it's an absolute nightmare. In no way meets the accuracy requirements set in the procurement trims. One of Arapareev's sources said, describing the U.S. manufactured LMT's defense precision automatic rifles purchased by the State Department State Defense Investment Center, RKIK, and delivered to Estonia in 2021. The main issue was a failing gas system. Now, I believe this might be a translated page or article, so bear with some of the rough machine translations. The main issue was a failing gas system, which is supposed to ensure the weapon reloads after each shot. As you can tell, some of the wackiness going on there. Which is supposed to ensure the weapon reloads after each shot. Under warranty, all 7.62 millimeter caliber rifles and their gas blocks replaced, and additional firing tests were carried out on the barrels to confirm that they met the accuracy standards laid out in the technical description of the procurement. Araparev asked RKIK about the problems with the precision rifles already in fall 2023, but the agency only now responded to the inquiry, saying that in 2024 through 2025, all of their 308 rifles were sent back to the manufacturer. So what's funny is that here in the US, LMT also just won the SOCOM contract for the 14.5 65 Creedmoor bill, so for the MRGG-A program. Right? But all of their Estonia 308 barrels had to be sent back for issues. Oops.
So they're finally going with the port.
Well, so SOCOM picked up the contract for the 14.5 65 Creedmoor, which I have a video on from SHOT Show 2025 earlier this year. I believe these are the 308 barrels, although maybe you are right. Maybe it is, although they're ARs. There's no way they're running 7.62 by 39 ARs. I'm pretty sure these are their big boy 308 gas guns. GB Gun says, for a gas system to cause accuracy issues at distance, that means they're leaking massive gas and the round is lacking velocity. I don't know what is wrong. They might have been having cycling issues. They might have been having, as they say, accuracy issues as well, meaning greater than 4 MOA. I think is what their accuracy requirements were for the package, and they weren't meeting 4 MOA. Not meeting 4 MOA is kind of difficult for a semi-auto, for a well-put-together semi-auto rifle, right? It's difficult to not hit that number.
So it could be a gas leak, or it could also be the space where the gas expansion area isn't consistent, right? That's not lining up.
I don't know. See, this is machine translated, so I'm not sure if they exactly know what's going on either. It could also be the fact that the way that the LMT barrels lock up, perhaps that was not set up properly, so it was like being inconsistent, or there could be a lot of things at play when it comes to accuracy on these. According to RKIK, the state did not incur any costs related to warranty. That's an expensive warranty claim. Wow. You know, TA Targets complained about a warranty claim that was like $60,000. I wonder how much money it cost LMT to have all of the barrels sent back, worked on, and then sent back to Estonia. Okay, it's the piston system, which, you know, there could be something wacky going on with the piston if it's not resetting the same way every time. It's true. Interesting. Now they have an editor's note saying problem occurred in less than 10% of weapons, but they sent all of them back just on precaution, I suppose. EDF staff officer Mario Novak told ERR that initially the problem occurred in less than 10% of weapons. The gas chamber was unable to hold the gas cap in place at the moment of firing, and the gas cap flew off. Oh, so the actual regulator, like the front part of it, just blew off? Estonia's requirement from the manufacturer was that the weapons of both larger and smaller calibers ought to function with the same system in order to simplify maintenance procedures, right? So they want all the same operating system across all their weapons. Simple enough. We wanted a version with a short stroke gas piston where the gunpowder gases are confined to this area, meaning the gunpowder gases do not enter the bolt frame, so just a piston system, right? Large caliber means high pressure on a small detail, small surface area, with the result being that the material chosen by the manufacturer could not withstand the pressure it was subjected to. Ouch. It turned out that we couldn't use this gas block in its current form. So the manufacturer developed a solution that changed the composition of the alloy used to make the gas block as well as the dimensions of the gas block. This was a critical point where the gas plug was escaping. Now it should no longer be able to escape. Meaning that it shouldn't be able to fly off while shooting it. The replacement of the gas blocks took 2 years, as not all the precision weapons were sent away at the same time. That makes sense. You do them in batches, so you don't have zero inventory to maintain your testing and practice and so on and so forth. They not only replaced the weapons in which these problems occurred, but the entire batch that was delivered to us. Very interesting. So LMT, which again just won a U.S. contract for the MRGGA in 6.5 Creedmoor, 14.565 Creedmoor, having big issues with their contract rifles overseas. So I hope that that does not entail issues for our military, our SOCOM rifles as well. Now, if I could get my hands on an LMT MRGGA, I would love to shoot that thing. I love the concept of a 14.565 Creedmoor. I think LMT system is very novel, and I would like to get my hands on one. However, that's going to be a few years off. All right. Well, more gun industry news. We are back on the T-Rex Arms train here. Lucas Botkin posted this to his X and to his Instagram, which I already knew that this was the case. We talked about this a little bit, but most people probably didn't know that T-Rex Arms was supposed to buy Lucas Botkin out of his shares of T-Rex Arms, as was their operating agreement between the 4 owners. And they had a set amount of time to do that. I believe it was 30 days, could have been 45, 60 days, somewhere in that range. But they had a set amount of days to get that done to buy Lucas Botkin's shares. Now, I don't know the exact number of Lucas Botkin's shares. However, the company does about $20 million a year, or at least they did do $20 million a year in sales. So the correct number of how much his shares are actually worth could be as low as 7, as high as $20 million. Right. So they somehow needed to come up with the cash to buy Lucas Botkin's shares, and so far have either been unwilling to do so, unable to do so, and now it is going through the legal battle, which is when you sign a contract and you don't uphold your end of the bargain. While I can feel bad for you, at the same time, like, you signed the contract in the same way Lucas Botkin signed the ownership contract, right? So we can, maybe it was a bad idea all the way around. Now, my theory in this is that if T-Rex Arms actually does not have the cash on hand to pay off Lucas Botkin, that they are desperately looking for an investor to give them the cash to pay off Lucas in order to get a share of the company, probably 51%. But so that would be my outside view, is that I believe that they are scrambling to find a way to buy enough time to find an investor to pay off Lucas Botkin so that they can actually move forward as a company. Because according to Lucas Botkin's post, which I'll read out now, regarding my departure from T-Rex Arms and to answer the most common questions being asked of me. As of this post, the owners are 44 days over the deadline to purchase my equity in accordance with our shareholder agreement. My lawyers are working to resolve this. It has become known to me that my former business partners have zero intention of ever selling the company I founded back to me. It's not over, Lucas Botkin. Now, Lucas, in his video, and I believe this is just truthful, I don't have any reason to doubt this. He brought two separate offers to buy out everybody else's shares so that he would be the sole owner of T-Rex Arms. They denied him both times, and then he decided that to essentially cut his losses and move on, and he started Botkin Enterprises and other ventures, which we'll get into in just a minute. But the flip side of that is, if you won't let him buy you out, well, you have to buy him out according to your agreement, which again, over the last 2-3 months or so at this point, they simply have not done, and they are in violation of their shareholder agreement. Now, I don't have a copy of that shareholder agreement, so I'm taking Lucas's word at that, though I don't see why he would have any reason to lie, especially if it was just easily verifiable via a single piece of paper. So I don't think he would lie about that sort of thing. But yeah, they probably don't have the cash. That would be my guess. My guess is that simply it is not that they don't want to pay him off and move past all of this, but that they simply can't. They actually don't have the, whatever that number happens to be, 6 million, 12 million, 14 million, whatever that number is, which is a big, big number. They just don't have the cash to actually sell it off or to give him to fulfill their end of the contract. And so again, my guess would be that they are looking for some sort of outside investor or some other solution to get them out of this fix.
Yeah, I imagine that the combination of the Trump slump, or whatever you want to call it, combined with their own corporate flubble with Lucas, that probably put a large dent in their bottom line. And then continuing to have to pay employees, unlike Tacticon, that takes a large chunk out of your finances when you're not selling product.
I knew it as soon as I said the 6 million number. All of the jokes, I know. It's a little high, but no. T-Rex Arms is worth a lot of money, and Lucas still owned, what was it? Was it 35% of the company? Was it 30% of the company? It was a big chunk of it, right? So they owe him a big chunk of change. It's a big number. Big number. And then again, the other day they had their warehouse expansion sale, also a fire sale, maybe to try and raise funds. People are speculating about that.
Well, so I've seen a couple of companies in the past couple of days who have come out and either had their own sales or outright said, hey, we're not doing well cash-wise. We're running sales. Please buy stuff.
Well, right, especially if you have operating costs and nearly 100 employees, as T-Rex Arms does. That's a lot of money every week. We're talking $100,000 a week, at least in employee costs, right? Probably at least $100,000 a week in employee costs. So they got to have that cash flow coming in. Asshole expansion sale.
I did see that.
No. But yeah, and I mean, so to be clear, you might think that Lucas is a dick for doing this, but it is within his rights.
It's
right?
his.
No, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It was within the brothers' rights as shareholders to do what they did to Lucas, right? According to the letter of the law, it was within their rights to do that, right? Because Lucas no longer had controlling interest in the company. However, the flip side of that is it is also within Lucas's right, according to their shareholder agreement, to ask that you pay him out in the allotted time frame for his shares, whether you like it or not, right?
Now, do we know, is there any, can a judge come in with an injunction and say, you have so many days to pay him, otherwise he takes possession?
Well, I think it's a civil case as of right now. I imagine his lawyers are in communication with their lawyers, and when a suit is actually brought, right, and actually filed, that's when a judge can get involved, but not before then. So I don't know exactly how that is playing out. I haven't asked Lucas. He's very busy. But, yeah, my guess is the lawyers are going to fight it out. Lawyers aren't cheap either. I'm pretty sure Lucas can fight this basically indefinitely, but it's T-Rex Arms and his brothers that are actually in the bad financial situation because of their expenditures. Moonman for 5 says, imagine being anything other than white-pilled at all times. Couldn't be me. Fed posting is up. Minecraft is on the menu. My job security is set. Fair enough, Moonman.
You just don't like the other colors of the pills. That's
Moonman for 2 says, 4 MOA is Lee Enfield / Mauser standard, lol. True. Yes, that is early 20th century technology by LMT right there. Thank you,
How dare
Moonman.
you slander my Mosin.
Agardus for 2 says, so LMT uses pot metal. Hey, at least it's metal, right? Could be talking about a high point here. Brass and Beards for 2 says, it's not tax-free, we get to write it off. Either way, that's still 25 grand I get to write off. That's a lot. That's a lot of money I don't have to pay taxes on.
Oh, never mind.
Tax on tips, yeah, circumcision. Yeah, we get it. The Subarctic Cycle over here on Ko-Fi says, pissed on ARs are an abomination from hell. Saint Eugene of Armalite will strike them down with righteous fury. Indeed. He doesn't like piston ARs. All right, fair enough. Well, you know what? Neither does Estonia, apparently. Well, yeah, Watchman Prime says it was the entire Roman Empire. I know, but it split up soon after that, and the Eastern Byzantine Empire remained for another 1,000 years, so that's why I was trying to separate the two. So, yeah, I get it, Watchman. Appreciate it, sir. Okay, but let's see, hey, what about Botkin Enterprises, right? We should actually probably talk about that. I'm gonna be real. I still don't know what Botkin Enterprises does or what they sell or what products that are out testing or anything like that. He's been teasing a lot, but I don't know what anything is, so I have zero idea what type of products they're going to be bringing to market anytime soon. And I think the company is going to live or die on the products. Are they novel? Are they useful? Are they high quality? Do they bring value to the market? I think that's what's really going to be interesting. So he posted all of these updates. Vague posting on Maine, but he was at a training event, or he had like a big 4-day shoot with like Brantley Marion and a bunch of other shooters that were out there with him. He's currently hanging out with Joel Park, Ben Stager, and they're running like some training classes and some other stuff. So he's been a very busy man. Quarter 3 update: Botkin Enterprises launch schedule and product developments. Just completed our first training work trip to generate all necessary content for defense company launch. So there are things in this picture. I believe it's going to be slings and some other supporting equipment for LBE. That's my guess as of right now. And that is their new logo. Now, I do want to be clear. There were some people really pissed about this logo because it's very similar to another logo out there, Anvil Industries. I think that's the one. But at the end of the day, it's just an A. And there's a lot of logos using an A. So I personally can't be too bothered about that. The fact that the logo is similar. To me, it's going to be about whether or not the products are actually good, right?
Why is it an A and not a B?
I don't know. Because Lucas probably saw it and designed it and was like, this looks cool. Run it. That would be my guess. 4 YouTube videos for the company channel, pictures for the site, and social clips on our product details. Posting a vlog from this trip on my personal YouTube video this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow, gents. So we will actually probably know tomorrow. Using Shopify for the defense brand, extremely powerful for what we need, but we're concerned with the site will be overloaded by y'all's support at launch. We will be working with Shopify ahead of time to open up more bandwidth. Here's to hoping it's enough. Shopify is super easy to get up and running. So if you don't want to devote a bunch of time and money to setting up a dedicated website like the T-Rex Arms page or other websites or whatnot, Shopify can be a very quick and efficient way to get something up and running quickly, right? Without having to pour in a bunch of time and money. Long term, I imagine they're going to have their own website, but for now, I think that's easier. Launching the defense company in late October or early November, which we will have some swag at launch, slings, and other products dropping shortly after. We will be displaying project pages for each product in development, documenting the prototypes and the why between each product. Developments include a target system for a military customer, interesting, an equipment harness, chest rig, placard, a covert low-vis harness, 2-piece pistol belt with inner belt options, rifle, rail, and more. I am actually interested to see the rifle rail. Because if they come out with something cool and unique that does all the things you want it to do, I will be happy to see that. All right, flying to New York City this month. Ugh, sorry, bro. To meet with our clothing designers, pattern maker, and one of the U.S.-based factories for the clothing company. Also picking our fit model on this trip. Who's the fit model? Is that a model who is fit or a model that fits? We'll be filming a vlog on this trip for my YouTube channel, which should be interesting. Clothing company on target to launch Q1 2026, American made and priced direct to consumer. I don't know about you guys, but the clothing company aspect, I'm like the least excited for.
Yeah, I can buy skinny jeans at Walmart.
Yes, model wearing the fit. Okay, that checks out. Botkin Labs, I doubt it. Maybe at some point. Zeroing in on a 15,000 square foot building here in the middle of Tennessee for all of our operations. So he will actually be in the same AO as T-Rex Arms, is what it looks like. Within a couple hours at least. And able to drop. If we are unable to secure before launch in November, we will drop pods at my house and ship from the garage. Always have contingencies in the back pocket. I mean, honestly, working out of your garage for a little while, probably not a bad idea. Going to save a ton of cash in the beginning. And you can, if the volume isn't not so insane, you should be able to do it all. And then here's a picture with Brantley, who will probably be he was the face of T-Rex Arms training channel, and he will probably be the face of Botkin training channel or any training activities that they do, and he'll do it under their brand, which is a great pick, right? Brantley's one of the best pistol shooters in the world, so I think he's going to be fantastic for that role, and he sticked with Lucas, and so I think that, honestly, there might be some other shooters being brought on to that as well. I would not be surprised if you hear some other big names get thrown into the mix for that. I'm exploring offering training courses next year through the defense company, rifle, pistol, active shooter, and more. We have a strong customer base wanting professional training, and I know a bunch of high-level individuals. He does know a bunch of high-level individuals who want to teach, but don't have the same reach/marketing to fill courses. If I can facilitate the right guys getting in front of the right customers, that's a huge win at leveling up people. Always wanted to do this, but it wasn't an option at my old work for various reasons. That could be cool. As we get closer to launches, we will still be utilizing our newsletter lists for announcements, which you can sign up for at botkinenterprises.com. Thank you all for your support over the last few months and for all your years of supporting me while I was at T-Rex. It's been a huge encouragement to me and my wife, and I can't wait to get these companies rolling. I look forward to seeing those of you at SHOT Show in January, which I should be there hanging out, so we should have a good time. Oh, is Lucas hanging out in here with us? Hey, there he is. Perfect timing. I don't know how it is, okay, but anybody that watches the show, somehow when they get brought up, instantly appear. And I don't know if somebody sends them like, oh, John's talking about you again, but it just happens. It happens every time. And not just to Lucas, but to lots of people. Hey, he's here. Well, I know that he's hanging out with Joel and Ben and Brantley and a few other guys currently, so I would not be surprised again if you see some other big names get brought on for training and whatnot, if there's some overlap there. Would not be surprised at all. Now, if Lucas is still here, I imagine he would like them to pony up the money that they owe him, which would probably make starting his new business ventures a little bit easier, right? If you had an extra few mil in cash laying around. Oh, I wonder if T-Rex Arms will have a booth at SHOT Show.
Interesting.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Yeah. Dude, I always share Cook Club's memes.
They are great.
The best memes, only the best. Yeah, so that's, I suppose everybody's question is, Lucas, since you're here. I don't know, obviously you can't probably just type out an answer to this, but you say it's not over. New business are starting regardless, and we shall see what happens with the other stuff, but it's not over. So there's probably like a greater than 0% chance, depending on how the lawyers fight things out, that T-Rex Arms goes back to its original ownership. There's got to be a slight possibility of that, right? If they can't buy you out, but you might be able to do the reverse. I mean, I don't know how all that stuff's going to work out. But, yeah. Interesting times, for sure. Interesting time. Oh no, I mean, if Lucas is busy, I don't want to actually take his time to come on here. We're about to be wrapping up anyways. Well, you know what? Speaking of other companies that are kind of having a hard time right now, is Cloud Defensive, which is kind of sad because for a while they had practically zilch. Lucas says practically zilch, not zero, but practically zilch. Lee Hendo says, tell Ben I said hi. Yeah. So Cloud Defensive, when they came onto the market, they had a lot of potential, a lot of hype, and they made pretty good products. However, since then, they've lost their original lead designer, and the owners have kind of allegedly been screwing things up and not helping when the company's having a bit of an issue when it comes to finances and actually shipping products to customers, right? Which is the hard part. Pre-orders are a very dangerous game, but if you choose to do it, you gotta make sure you actually get products to customers. Even if you're a little late, whatever you gotta do, you have got to get products to customers. Now, this is just an email that was posted where Cloud Defensive is essentially saying, hey, don't worry, guys. Like, we're still working on it. If you're getting this email, it means that you are one of the pre-orders for the pistol light we have been working so hard on. Good news, we are still very much on track for our estimated fall shipping times. It is halfway through September, good sir. And these people have bought them, months and months and months ago, and you've continuously pushed back the release date. Now, the original designer, after he left, he stated that there is no way that they make it in 2025. Or if they do make it, then it would be very, It would be kind of beta testing on your audience, which is rough.
Do we know where the designer went?
The last post that I saw was that he left. I do not know where he went after that, but that the main lead engineer left. Brass Facts also shows up. We talk about Cloud Defensive, and Brass is right here. How you doing, man? Wait, did you take two Cloud Defensive head designers? Because that would be quite funny if you did. Or the T-Rex designers, or was it Cloud Defensive? That would be quite funny. If you're getting this email, it means that you are one of the pre-orders for the pistol light we've been working so hard on. Good news, we are still very much on track for estimated fall shipping times. Axe to doubt. We have all been working as hard as we can to make sure that this is the answer when it comes to pistol-mounted lights. That's the thing. When it comes to pistol-mounted lights, the TLR1 has been like pretty good for a decade? A decade? Right? And then they came out with the HPX, the X series, where it's kind of like a turbo, the Surefire X300 turbos, right? Where they like quintupled the candela on those things. Mod Light has, what is it called? The OK... No, it's not the OKW. I think Mod Light has a pistol light out as well. So as far as pistol lights go, like they have, over the last few years, like pistol lights now beat rifle lights from 5 years ago. That's how good pistol lights are. Like you could put a X300 turbo on a rail, on a rifle rail, and you would be a top tier performer 5 years ago. Like it's comparable to like an old X or an old what are they called, the M600s, D600s, whatever they're called from Surefire. But the new X300 turbos, I mean, again, they would compete or blow away most rifle lights from 5 years ago.
So
yeah,
you're
the TLR1 HLX.
So
Yeah.
you're saying that O-Light now is better than Surefire was?
No. O-Light sucks for many other reasons than light output. Light output is one facet of the light. The switchology has to be good, it has to be dependable, and the mount actually has to work. O-Light has good output, okay, they do, but their battery solutions suck, their tape switches suck, their mounting solutions suck, and they're not particularly durable, right? So the light output is only one facet of a light. All the other things have to actually make sense, which is why I personally prefer an X300. I don't have one, a TLR1. I don't have one on my desk, but I prefer the TLR1 over the other lights simply because I find it easier to actuate. And the performance is more than enough. You get 1,000 lumens and 10,000 candela. And for pistol stuff, unless you need to be taking shots at like 100 yards in the dark with a pistol, which is a odd circumstance. But unless you just need more than that, I think a TLR1 or TLR1 HLX is going to get the job done. Now, it continues. Cloud Defensive, they shared this post on Instagram. We are sure some of you are starting to question where your order is or when you will get it. Yes, I think a few people are starting to question. We absolutely understand the concern you have and want to assure that your order is accounted for. We are working on it, building lights every day, as always, from the deployment code to a series of setbacks outside of our control. We have been pushed further behind than we ever wanted to be. However, which is, you should take some accountability. I think that would be a good move. As always, ever wanted to be. However, Cloud has delivered on every light we have ever sold, except for the ones you're currently waiting on. That's not changing, and we will work tirelessly for you, getting you that world-class product as quickly as possible. We sincerely apologize for the delay. We exist because of you guys, and that is never lost on us. That's nice. So on behalf of everyone at Cloud, thank you for the support and your patience. And the comments are turned off. And the comments are turned off. Lucas says, I want all the retro Surefire lights. Oh, that's right. Because, yeah, weren't they were giving you like $100 off for any light. So people traded in old classic lights for $100 off of a new Cloud, which honestly probably didn't work out well for them because they probably just lost $100 on every sale. Because I guarantee you they weren't reselling any of that stuff. I don't know where that stuff went. If they were recycling or putting them into their own collection or whatnot. But
you don't think it went up on eBay? Tax swap?
Yeah, okay. So, let's run the math here. You give a guy $100 off. He buys your light. He then has to send you his light. You have to categorize it, take pictures of it, put it up on eBay, and then ship it to somebody else. And what are you going to put it up for? $55 plus 10 in shipping. So you made $45 off of it. And then you have even more inventory to manage. Like, sure, you get some of that $100 back. Maybe. But I don't even know if it's worth the extra time, right?
I think it's a great business plan if you're not shipping out your light to the person and you're just getting their light and back, right?
Yeah. If you're not shipping anything to the customer, then that's actually a great model, right? They give you money and a light. Like, damn.
Yeah.
That's a good business model.
Yeah.
Now, however, they are still sending out text messages, asking you to pre-order, which is a little awkward. Cloud Defensive EPL, the pre-order is officially ending soon. We're almost done. Only 200 more units available. You in? ? Click below and act fast. Now, again, the problem is, pre-orders are dangerous. I would recommend not doing them. But if you do them, you should get customers their orders as soon as possible. And if you continue to take more and more pre-orders while not shipping people that have made a pre-order 6 months ago, well, it doesn't look very good, right? Because that guy from 6 months ago that gave you $300, $350, $400, whatever it happens to be for that light, ain't going to be too happy about that. And as GB Gun points out, sounds like crowdfunding. What it sounds like is I'm taking money from Jim today to build Aiden's light from 6 months ago. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like I have employees I have to pay. I don't want to go in debt to do so. Could you keep buying stuff? And maybe if we get enough pre-orders over a long enough period of time, we'll slowly be able to crawl back from the brink of destruction, the brink of bankruptcy, right? Which, man, that's just rough to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that is a deep hole to get out of. That is a rough time. Pre-orders are literally Jewish. Wait, okay, I actually don't know the lore on this, Lucas. What was the first pre-order? What's the lore on this? What were Jews pre-ordering? I actually don't know. Hamburger today, pay you Tuesday. I actually don't know the lore on this, and I kind of want to know. And Mr. Burt, as Mad Mel, would also like to know. Well, speaking of light companies taking L's, Olight attempted to take out another one of its users. Yeah, also a $400 light is pretty rough. Is pretty rough. Yeah. Now, Olight, known for questionable batteries. Batteries is another thing. You know, when it comes to rifle lights or pistol lights, I think that having standard off-the-shelf batteries, whether it's, 123As, 18650s, AA, whatever it might be, standardized batteries, that's the way to go, okay? That you can pick up basically anywhere. You can order a 100-pack off of eBay, right? That sort of thing, that's what you want. Olight chooses to use custom rechargeable battery packs that are essentially not replaceable unless you're going to warranty them. And their battery packs have a tendency in some cases to go boom boom, which is not what you want them to do. So here's just another user posting his smoking, blown up, burning $100 EDC flashlight from Olight, which is, just one of those things. You feel something burning in your pocket, and it's your flashlight, right? Not something that you want.
Is that a flashlight burning in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah, yeah, it's smoking hot down there. Gene Lemmings says 21-700 large and heavy. Yeah, what are the... I probably have one of the super big fat batteries. I think they're the 21-700s. But they are huge for the Streamlight HLX 2.0 rail mount, whatever that name is. Huge, huge batteries. All right. Well, hey, that kind of wraps it up for the show tonight. That was fantastic. Yeah, they're definitely not do fuel. They take your money, use it for stuff, and you get nothing for a while. They could get interest on that money while you wait. It's, you know what? It's, usury. So are we framing usury as pre-ordering? Yeah, but I want to know, what was the first official, pre-order? I wonder what Henry Ford's take on usury and pre-ordering would be. I think he wrote a book on the subject, actually, now that I mention it. Subarctic Psycho says the T-Rex arms were his legs the whole time. Wow. All right, Subarctic. Just being funny. But hey, Richard, what do you got going on tonight, homie?
Well, I am going to be working on clips from yesterday and today. For those who don't know, I take the stream, cut it up into little bite-sized segments so you can watch at your leisure and you don't have to sit through 2 to 3 hours of a stream. You can watch whatever topic it is you want at your discretion. So if you guys could go over and subscribe, it'd be great. It's a huge help.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Tomorrow I have the North Carolina bus instance. Yeah, that whole sad thing. Arena, I can't pronounce the last name.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, it looks like the judge in that instance may not even have her
right. She may not actually have her law degree or pass the bar or anything like that, because apparently in some states they allow judges who don't have a degree and haven't passed the bar.
Yeah, apparently all you need is a criminal rehabilitation program and you can be a judge. So definitely no conflict of interest there. But yeah, that video will be coming out tomorrow. So if you guys could watch out for that and give it a watch, it greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Sweet. Before we get out of here, Moonman says, never pre-order, lads. It's the work of the Jews and EA. True, yeah. I think pre-ordering in a lot of ways ruined video games as well. I think that that culture of always pre-ordering always gave the company something to fall back upon and allowed them to give you lower and lower quality games. Like, hey, do you remember when games launched day one complete and working? Do you remember when games just did that? Rather than, in some games, it takes years for them to fix. A prime example, in a game I still play today, is the Master Chief Collection. It came out in 2014, and they did not fix it until 2019.
Weren't you just playing that a couple hours ago?
Shush. Yes, I still play it, of course. I'm still going to play the Master Chief Collection, don't get me wrong, but I'm annoyed that I paid them money and it took them 5 years for them to fix my game, right? Mike O became a new YouTube member. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Thank you. But, yeah, back when you remember when a game was actually on a disc?
I do.
Like when the disc, you put the disc in the machine and it played the game. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember VHS. I was going through some of my boxes today and I pulled out a VHS from 1992. I am old.
Corporations ruined video games. Also true in a way. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Pray for the nation. Pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a good night. God bless.
Cannot believe how beautiful your voice is, but I can't